I'll just let everyone get in and then we'll get started. And I'll get myself all set up on the computer. Of course it doesn't want to show. Oh, there we go. Hiya, Vicky. Hiya, Tammy. Hiya, Bethan. Frank's good. You can probably hear him barking away. You're doing your little grumbles, aren't you? Hiya, Shannon. Hiya, Jo Beth. Yes, that's his name, Frank. Hiya, May. Hiya, Pickle. Yay, well done, Tammy. Yes, look. So everybody, this was a lovely gift of Tammy, and it is my new desk mat, and it is super cool, and it goes right across my whole desk. It is pretty good. Hiya, Sue. Hiya, Mum. So today and tomorrow, because I am streaming tomorrow morning as well, I am going to be colouring a page from this book, and this book is just from my local pound shop, which is a bit like a dollar store, and it took me quite some time to actually decide on a picture to colour in, so I've settled on this one just because I like the 100 Dalmatians, and you don't really see many people colouring in some of the less known characters. Hiya, Pat. Hiya, Christine and Steph. Hiya, Sue. Hiya, Larry. Michelle. It's great to see everyone, because I've not been on for quite some time because I've not been feeling very well for the past few weeks. Hiya, Louise. Oh. Hiya, Tanya. I did as well, Bethan. I did all the crying. Right, so I'm also going to be using my Prismas because they're quite versatile. Everyone has them, or nearly everyone has them. And they are my go-to pencil as well, so I thought it would be a good idea just to use them. And I've got my tablet with my reference picture on, obviously for like her outfit and her hair. Apologies for my throat. So I'm just also going to grab some other bits and pieces like my pencil sharpener, and I'll get my erase out and things like that as well. I'll just get some bits and pieces that I think we might need. Right, that'll do for now. If we need anything else, I'll get them as I go. That's all right, May. Oh, thank you, Pat. I am on the mend at the moment, but I'm still not 100%. But I couldn't let everyone down for Disney Colorathon. Hiya, Gabby. Hiya, Kenny. Right, so just going to, I've also got my colouring companion because it has got some of my colour combos in for skin tones and hairs and stuff. So I am going to use my skin tone that I have used in the past. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Oh, thank you, Steph. I got them done about 2 weeks ago, and it's the first time I've had the gel polish on, and it lasts really well. Right, so I'm just going to get my pencils out that I need for my skin tone. There are quite a few, but I'll get those out and then I'll let you know what I've got out. I hope you're all well. That one as well. So this skin tone is inspired from Vicky at Colouring with Vicky. That one is a maybe because she's not really that tan, so I don't think I'll get that colour. This is Peeps that you see in the back of. She's one of our little tinkers. This Louise is from the Pound Shop. And I was quite lucky to get it because the couple of times beforehand when I went in, they didn't actually have these ones. They just had the ones with like cars and Toy Story in. My favourite Disney movie would have to be Tangled. I'm a big fan of Rapunzel. Hiya, Charlotte. Oh, I need that one. Although she doesn't really have rosy cheeks either, does she? I think we'll go with that for now, because she is fair skinned, so she doesn't really have. I'll keep this one out and the pink out for her cheeks anyways, but she doesn't seem to have that dark of a skin. Yes, I can do a quick show you what else kind of images are in here. There's some more Dalmatian ones, Alice in Wonderland, Dumbo, the Aristocats, Pinocchio, Bambi, Peter Pan, The Lion King, The Lady and the Tramp, The Lion King, Peter Pan, Pan again, Dumbo, the Jungle Book, Bambi, another Dalmatians one, the Aristocats, Alice in Wonderland, Pinocchio, oh, Cruella de Vil, so the Dalmatians again, Jungle Book. I do like that picture, I must admit. I do like that one when he's with his dad. Lady and the Tramp, Alice in Wonderland with little Figaro, the Aristocats, Dumbo, Rafiki from The Lion King. So yeah, there's some really cute pictures in. But I chose this one because, like I said, we never really colour in the characters that are never spoken of very much. So I will be having a lot of drinks throughout this. Tanya, that's a good one. It's a really nice book. The only thing that I would say that is a bit of a problem is the pages are very thin. So unless you're using, if you wanted to use anything other than coloured pencils, I would suggest to take a copy and put it on some of your own paper. Tanya, I'm not too sure because I got it in my local pound shop, which would be the same equivalent as your dollar stores. So if it was available, it would be in one of your dollar stores. Oh, thank you, my lovely spicy Pat. Right, so I'm going to zoom it in and I'm going to start on our skin. Just take you in there. Right. And what I suggest with this is that you always keep your pencil sharp. Just because also it is a smaller image. And I'm just going to give the whole thing a very light base coat of light peach. And I'm not going to be in any hurry because I am going to colour this image in tomorrow as well, because I know for definite I'll not get this done by 8 o'clock. And I'm going to try and do all the areas of the same as I go along. I do have, okay Tammy, that's fine. What was I saying? Oh, that's right. I do have an image from Nick Filbert, which you've probably seen before, that I'm going to base off of Jasmine. It's of a genie girl on a magic carpet. Hiya, Joanne. Hiya, Laura. If I miss anybody coming in, just give a shout. Put it in caps or whatever. Right. So I've gone over and I've given the areas a light peach base, and I'm now going in with my white pencil, and in some areas I'm just going to give a slight highlight. So underneath the eyebrow there, underneath her eye, and I'm just going to give one under her lip. Actually no, I'll go above her lip for this one. And then I'm just going to go underneath her neck. I'm then going in with peach, and I'm going to use this to start putting in my shadowed areas. Again, just very lightly. Ian is home today because I was at a hospital appointment this morning. You see, the thing is with that, Bethan, is that I would never think that my pages would be good enough to give away. I wouldn't think anybody would want to win one of my pictures that's finished. That's the only thing I think there. Right, because this is a side portrait, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put shadows, so you'll have to bear with me just whilst I get a good look whilst I'm putting them down. Oh, thank you, Kenny. And Vicky and Vicky. I'm gonna get confused now, there's two Vickies. Oh, oh, thank you, Bethan. My little cat picture, Tammy. You know what it is? I coloured that cat picture in, and I was so proud of that picture because it's the first super realistically fluffy cat that I've ever coloured in. What's the matter, son?
Hey.
Take care, Charlotte. Thank you for coming along. Frank's not happy because he can hear another dog. Right, so I'm just going to put a triangle of shadow in there because that's coming from her neck. Not her neck, I'm colouring in on her neck. Coming from her chin. And again, like I always do when I'm doing skin, even when I'm not doing a new one, you want to blend them all in so you're not left with harsh edges between colours. Right, so yes, this lady is quite pale skinned. And I know 101 Dalmatians is an old movie, but she has no shadowing whatsoever. Hiya, Heather. Right, so I'm next going to come in with beige. And I'm just going to use the beige to very lightly blend that peach out, so that we know it's there, but we've blended it into the light peach a bit more. Do you want the colour numbers or just the names, Vicky? Gabby, that could just be because I've got a sore throat. I'm sounding rather husky at the moment. Thank you, Joanne. Yes, Kenny, that's a good point. Just if people are leaving, it would be nice just to say a quick bye. Just like when you have to leave, or if you come in, people say hi and bye. It's just a bit nice. Right, so just to recap, started with light peach for the base. Then I used white to add in some highlights here and there. Then I used my peach, and I'm now using beige. And I'm using the beige just to blend the peach out into the light peach. And I'm hardly using any pressure at all, because this sort of paper seems to soak up the colour really well. There we go. So now her chin doesn't look as though it is growing stubble. And then I'm just going to go in with the light peach again. And again, very lightly, just go over the bits you've just done with your beige. So yes, this morning's streams I do have to catch up on because I was at the hospital all morning. So tell me, what were people colouring in? I say spinach. Vicky. So I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I say it, is spinach. As if it should be spelt age on the end, not ache. No, Kenny, that's totally fine. Right, so that's that. I'm then going in with, not that one just yet, my blush pink. And even though on the my reference picture she doesn't have any sort of blush, I am just going to give her a little bit to her cheek. But again, I'll blend that out so it's not super noticeable. And again, I'm just doing a very light pressure there. So it might seem like I'm putting quite a bit on at the moment, but it will all get blended back out. And you can now start to see the highlight I put underneath her eye a bit more. I'm not going to keep that white, that will be made more flesh colour as we go. So there's a bit of blush on her cheek there. And again, I'm just going in with beige to blend that in to her actual skin tone a little bit. And then I'm going back in with the light peach. And I'm just concentrating more on this side because it is a little bit heavier. That actually reminds me, Steph, we took Ella to, there's a lighthouse near us called St. Mary's Lighthouse, and Ella had never been to a lighthouse before, so we took her to St. Mary's, which is quite a good attraction where we live. And that actually reminded me that I got ice cream with blue raspberry sherbet on top, and it was so well, no, actually it wasn't. It was the cone had blue raspberry sherbet around the top edge, and it was so nice. It was like, it was that sour type, and it was really nice. You know when you get something and you wish, why have I not had this before? Right, so I'm going in with the pink now, and again I'm just going to go over very lightly on the area where she would have a bit blush, but not as far down. And this time I'm also going to put some on the shadowed area of her ear. And bring that down the outer edge. And also underneath her neck. And it just kind of makes it look as if her skin has gone a bit pink from the cold of the fresh air. But again, I'm going to go back in with the beige and just blend that into the skin tone. Steph, you should try and find it and try it. It was really nice. Right, so I'm now going to start adding a bit more shadowing to her face, especially along her hairline here and underneath her hat. So I am going in with Nectar. I'm just going to give it a sharpen there. And like I said, we're just going to go in underneath her hat. And I'm just doing a light pressure. If you press too hard here, if you do have the same page, because I'm sure you can get this in other budget Disney books. If you do have the same page, don't worry if you're following along and you press a bit too hard. We can blend that back out. And then I'm just using it on her ear as well. And just underneath her nose and above her top lip. It does make her look as if I've started to add a moustache, but that's not my intention at all. Oh, strawberry shortcake, anything would be nice. And then again on her neck. And I'm always going to keep that shadowed area on her neck as a triangle. At the moment it does stand out quite a bit, but when we're finished it'll not be so bad. And I'm also going to put some down this part of her hair here, running down the back of her neck. And then a little bit just on her eyelid here, coming from the corner and fading out, and then a little bit just underneath her lip. And then I'm going to come back in with Peach this time to start blending that out. And I'm going to blend out as if I'm going underneath her eyebrow this time. And you can now tell that we put the white highlight under her eyebrow. Hiya, Pickle! Well, we're not going to keep the moustache this time, Pickle. It's going to get blended out. Just this once though, because I quite like the lady with the beard and the moustache from The Greatest Showman, and one of these days I will colour a picture to be like her. Thank you, Sue. Hiya, Connie. Right, where was I? Oh, just up here. Right. So yes, we can start to see the highlight I put on her eyebrow. And again, I'm still just using a very light pressure because we don't want to burnish the page. because if I do that, we'll not get any more layers on. I'm just going to bring this peach down here onto her nose and just blend that out towards her cheek. And then from her lip here, I'm going to do the same, just blend that out towards her cheek. And then the same with under her lip, just blend that up towards her cheek. Don't worry, like here, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there is a slight distinction of the peach build up here. Don't worry about that just yet. That'll get sorted out with the light peach, no, I'm going to use beige next, so that'll get sorted out with the beige next. And it'll blend it all back again. So I have been watching some YouTube videos and also using reference photos to practice skin tones lately. And if all goes to plan, I will be doing some videos on some of the skin tones I have learned how to do by myself. And the reason why I started those was because I wanted to try and get more oriental type skin tones, and I'd like to do the Egyptian lady in Nocturnes, and I didn't have the right skin tone ready, which I'm still practicing that one for the moment. But definitely once I've got that down, I'll let all of you know how I managed to achieve that. So I'm coming back in with the beige again. Hiya, Alex. And hiya, anyone else I've missed coming in. If I have, just say hello again. Oh, thank you very much, Kenny. Right, so I'm coming back in with the beige again, and this time, because we obviously don't want to have a bright white highlight, I'm going to blend over where I have the white highlight, just under her eyebrow there. And the same with the one under her eye. And although I didn't actually put the pencil there, that we do have one on the end of her nose. So I'm just going over with the beige on the end of her nose. And the same on her top lip. And here is where we will blend out that big patch of peach. If you just start at one end and just go right the way to the other end of her face. And then up her ear. And then right the way across her chin. And then we're now on to the highlight under her neck. And you can also still see the peach shadowing that we put in as the triangle. We're now going to blend that out so it doesn't look so sharp. And then the same with her eyelid. And then our final layer, I am going to come in with Clay Rose. which another one of my pencils that is getting really short because I love using this colour for skin. And I'm just going to go over all of the areas I did with the henna. That's okay, Alexandra. So very lightly again, just go over the shadows we've done. Under her hat and down her hairline, on her eyelid there, and just under her nose above her lip, and just that little bit on her chin. You can now use the clear rose to add some colour to her cheek where we've been adding the pinks, but only very, very lightly with this colour. A little bit on her ear, and then follow down her hairline and the back of her neck and underneath her chin. And then I'm going to come straight in with the peach. I'm going to skip the henna and come in with peach and just start blending that down. And with the pressure we're using, which is very, very light, we are again just going over the white highlight. And then we're just blending out the cheek blush there. And also just blending out underneath her nose and her chin, and then under her neck and up the side of her hairline as well. And then again I'm going to skip the beige this time and go straight in with the light peach. Try and stop the camera from shaking a bit there. There we go. And then I'm just going to go over the whole thing very lightly. And that is her skin. Now her lips are very, very small, and again she doesn't seem to, if I just get my reference picture up again, she doesn't seem to have any makeup. So now I tell lies because the picture I'm looking at is wearing red lipstick. Right, okay, so I'm going to make one change to the colours I have out, and I'm going to bring out raspberry. And to begin with, I'm just going to give them a base coat of blush pink. But as I said, they're very small, so it's not going to take much to get this colour on. I'm then going in with the pink, and I'm just going in from the corners here, and I'm very, very gently just using quick strokes just to bring that colour into the lip, and then using the raspberry, this is where we're going to get the most of the colour from. Again, just coming from the outer edge of the lip, top and bottom. On the bottom lip, if you stick to the bottom edge and it means that there is a slight highlight left on the lip. And that, without making her lips stand out like big tomatoes, is some nice red lipstick on her lips. Hiya Nick and Tina. Hiya April. It's lovely to have yous here. So that is the skin done on her face. And now we will do her hair. And she had orange hair, orange ginger hair. So I'm going to go in first off with a base coat of salmon pink. I'm just going to give the whole hair a base coat of salmon pink, because this is pinky but it also has that nice orangey tone to it. You don't have to apologize, Sammy. You obviously needed it. Right, so I'll keep this colour out for now, but that is the base done. Next to my skin tone, it does look quite brown, this colour. And then I'm going to come in with, I don't particularly want to come straight in with orange, so I'm going to come in with yellowed orange firstly. And because we have the hat again, I'm just going to put a shadow in from under the hat. Because this is a cartoon image, I am just going to colour the hair as a block and not with the strands like I have been doing with my ladies lately. So I've added the bit of shadow on this bit here because this is classed as like a sideburn type section. Hi Gilly, thanks for joining. And again, you can see this bit here is on top of this bit. So I'm going to do the same again and put a shadowing here. And then this is her ear, so I'm going to continue that shadow down and around here. If I do miss anyone coming in, just say hi in capitals again and I'll make sure that I definitely see you this time. So we have our bit shadows with this colour, and this was the yellowed orange. And then I'm going to come in with cadmium orange hue. Just giving it a quick sharpen. and I'm just going over very slightly where I've already been, and you'll notice that this orange really does stand out, and I've gone over where I've already put colour down, but that's alright, we'll come back in with that one again. And I'm really not pressing very hard at all. And I'm just fading that down. Right, so I'm now going to come back to my yellowed orange. Okay, Steph. So I'm just going over what I've done and bringing this colour further down. And we now have that nice bright orange glow. That's okay, Vicky. Oh. Frank's away to tell the neighbours off. And then just to keep that very muted highlight, I'm just going to bring back in that salmon pink. Yes, Sammy's telling the neighbours off, because obviously with the summer holidays we've been hearing all the kids playing out a lot more lately, and Frank doesn't like it because he doesn't normally hear them playing out. Not all day anyways. And that is her hair. Exactly, how dare they? Right, so next I'm going to move on to her hat, and on the picture I have we can see that her hat has a very similar colour flower to what her hair is, but it also is black with a purple band, and her cravat is also purple. So I'll get the purples out to do the band, and we'll also do the cravat at the same time. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Well, Tammy, you say this. The lovely Lou Scoffin is getting a puppy tomorrow, and it is a little chihuahua, and it is called Pepsi. And honestly, seeing the photos and the videos of little Pepsi running around and looking super cute just makes you proper broody for another dog. And I know I can't have another dog because I've got 2 kittens now. We don't have the space for another dog. Have you been and told them, son? Good boy. How dare they play? Right, so Mama needs that colour. And good old Parma violet. Actually, what colour is that? No, I don't want that colour, it's too bright. That one will be better. That one. And then I need a very, very dark one. Nope, wrong colour. That one. I think. I don't know yet. Shh. Oh no, I'll use that one. That one instead. It's okay. It's okay. Can't get you in here, son. Right, okay. So for my lightest colour, I am using grade lavender, and like everything, I'm going to give the areas a base coat. I hope you feel better soon, Louise. Right, so the band of the hat and also her cravat. I'm not sure if the woman's is called a cravat or if it's just the scarf. The way it's tied, it certainly does look like a cravat. Then I'm coming in with Lilac, and I'm just going to bring the colour out from behind the flower, and I'm just going to fade that out towards the edge. So at the minute we still do have the colour here, but it is very light. And on this side, I'm just going to colour the whole area in. And then here, because this is on top of this section, I'm going to bring the shadow from this whole bit here. Oh, apologies, I'm just shaking the camera there. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I really do like orange hair. And I'm getting quite the hang of colouring different versions of orange and red hairs. I'm just preparing myself for when I come to colour a Merida page, that's what it is. With her curly orange locks. And then I'm definitely going to have a bit of a shadow coming from this whole section here. And then also from here. Then I'm coming in with Parma Violet, and again starting in the darkest area and just bringing that out. I'm now going to leave a slight edging on this side. So has anyone been watching any Disney films this week? Or this month, because it has been a Disney month. Oh, the cat I had growing up, he died, and I think he was 21, and that was one of the worst days of my life, was when I lost him. So, sorry, this was Dioxazine Purple Hue. And I've put that right in the corner here, and then I'm just going back over the colours we've already used, and I'm just going to blend these all back out again, and I'm going to do this as I go along. Hiya Deb. Hiya Rochelle. Yes, Sammy, I absolutely love that program. And it's so well put together as well. Right, so I'll quickly do the hat, and then on her scarf / cravat I'll go over the colours again. Okay, so darkest colour I'm using is the Dioxazine Purple Hue, and I'm just using this right in there on the shadow. Then I have Parma Violet. Then I have Lilac. And then greyed Lavender for our lightest colour. So the Dioxazine Purple Hue for your darkest. Then Parma Violet. To try and blend that out. then lilac, and then grey lavender. Well, it's not Disney, but at the moment I'm watching Gotham. I'm not far from finishing that off now, because I have been watching that for some time. Right. Just grab myself another drink. Oh, bless her, Vicky. That's her telling you she wants mama time. Mama cuddle time. Right. So, I think what I'm going to do is for the flower on her head, I'll do the center the same colours as I did her hair, but then I think I might do the flower itself more yellowy, so it's a bit more bright and stands out a bit more. So I'm coming back in with the salmon pink just to give that a whole base layer, and then the yellowed orange, and I'm just going to bring that in from this bottom corner here and fade that out to about here. And then I'm coming in with the cadmium orange hue, and again on this bottom side here, and just fade that out, and then just go back in there with the yellowed orange, and then again with the salmon pink. Generally, when something's cancelled, it's either because they're not, they didn't receive enough funding for the next series. Mostly caused because not enough people were watching it. Or something happened within the set with the characters and things like that, and it meant they couldn't carry on. Right, so I'm going to make this more of a brighter yellow flower. So I'm going to give the base of the petals a coat of cream. And then I'm going to come in with lemon yellow. And again, I'm just going to go from the base and fade that out towards the tip of the petal. And then I'm coming in with Canary yellow, and again from the base And then just go over again and fade further back towards the edge of the petal with the lemon yellow. And then finally, just for the tips of each petal, come back in with the cream and just blend the edges out there. And then the hat will be black, and that matches her shoes, which are also black, but we'll come back to those in a bit. Right, so from the reference picture that I have, her top and her jacket are a green colour. So I need to pick out some greens. What I could do is just finish off her hands there. I'll do those. So I'm going in with light peach. I did already give these a base coat. So a light peach for a base coat. And I'm not going to put any white highlights in. I'm going straight in with peach. Hiya, Sean. And I'm just coming in where I would imagine shadowing bean on the hands, and that is coming up from the wrist, the bottom side of her hand, and also if a finger goes over the top of another one. And then again from her wrist, and for here you would definitely have a bit of a shadow under here, but because her fingers are also curled under, the majority of her hand here would be shadow. And then we've got one finger over the top here, and just a slight bit here and here, and just a little bit on this finger here, just because her thumb would be over the top of her hand, so it would be kind of like that, sort of over the top of that finger. I'm then going in with the beige, and I'm just blending the peach into the light peach. Michelle, have you got your chat on live chat or top chat? Hiya, Isabel. Oh, thank you, Spicy Pat. Really makes me smile when you say things like that. Right, so on this hand there was a lot of shadowing. Yes, my love, they're both here.
I'm going to turn on, I'm going to mute it immediately though, okay?
Okay. Do you need the other controller? And then just up the fingers. Oh, that's alright, Deb. Oh, pharmacies, eh? Take care, sweetheart. And I hope you get everything sorted out. Michelle, it's an easy mistake to make. You would think by now it would automatically change. Right, so I'm coming in with the Nectar. And again, I'm just going to slightly put that on the more shadowed areas. And come back in with the beige. This Isabel is a book that I got from the pound shop. I'll zoom out again. I got this from my local pound shop. Which is the equivalent of like a dollar store. Or just like a bargain shop type place. So I'll just zoom back in there. So I'm just using the beige again, just to blend that out. And then I'm going to use light peach. And I'm just trying to blend it out so it doesn't look as if her hand is bruised with the deep colours. And then I'm just going to come in with the Clay Rose. And this will be the last layer on her hands. And again, I'm just coming in at the shadowed areas with the slightest bit of colour. Oh. I remember when I was little that, because I used to love watching Pocahontas, that whenever I was in the shower, I used to put the plug in so it used to fill up the bath. And then when it was filled up a bit, I used to pretend that the shower was the waterfall. And I used to jump in the bath as if I was jumping down the waterfall into the pool below. That was my excitement and dreams as a child. Right, so I'm going to skip the henna and come in with the peach. And again, I'm just blending those parts out. Just to make them look less bruised. And then skipping the beige and coming in with the light peach. And there we go, and that's her hands done. Take care, Isabel. Thank you for coming along. Right, so also in the reference picture that I have, her book is also black. And at the moment, I'm leaving the black sections because I don't want to colour them in block colours. So I'm going to have a think tonight as to how I'm going to colour those in, and we'll come back to those parts tomorrow. So I'm going to move on to her jacket here. Okay, my love. Oh, is that the channel you've got it on?
No, I've got it on an app.
Alright, okay. Cool. Oh, definitely, Tammy, soon. I promise you. I'm going to do a video very soon of doing a picture from one of the books. But you take care, sweetheart, and thank you for coming along. Hi, Hugh. Right, so some greens, and it's quite like a mossy slash khaki type green. Dear me. So it might seem a bit weird, but I'm going to introduce gold into this combo. And I'm also going to get my moss green. If I can find it. I'm going to bring a bit of artichoke in. Oh, there's moss green. Calm down, Frank. And also Sandbar brown. And I'm just going to grab a piece of paper just to see which one of these is my lightest. Right. Calm down, you. Okay, so I'm going to put down a layer of, I believe, artichoke, and I'm going to put that down on the whole of the top. Frank's now barking at the TV. I think it's because you've put football on it.
It's only for an hour. Just a trial.
So base layer of artichoke. And we'll do the top, and then we'll see how the time is, because it's already 7:30. I've only got 30 minutes left. Right, so that's the artichoke. I'm then coming in with Sandbar brown. I'm just going to give it a sharpen there. Yes, Kenny, I've been using it a lot more lately because I like how it's more of a, well, it has like orange undertones in it as well as brown, and it really goes well with greens. It's Heather's next pat. Right, so I'm going to use this colour to show where shadows would be. And like I did with her skin, I'm going to have shadows down the back of her. There'll be shadows coming from this whole area here, because this is a collar and it isn't on top of the jacket. So this whole triangle area here will be in shadow, and so will this area because of her scarf and the collar. And then also coming from here, and then again for her sleeve, the book slightly is tilted over, so I'm going to use the book as a part to show where shadow would be as well. So we'll have some shadow on her sleeve here. So I've used Artichoke as a base. I'm now using Sandbar brown, and then I'll be going in with gold and then moss green. So again, using the back of her as a shadowed area, I'm using that as reference to bring the shadow onto her sleeve. Again, all of this is on top of her jacket area here, so the shadowing will come down from all of this area. Oh, thank you, Pickle. And again, the back area of her, so I'll bring the shadows from the back side. And I'm going to make this area more shadowed as well. And then this will definitely be in shadow. So I'll just colour that whole section in there. I'm just going to do this bit because it is the crease in her elbow. And then again, this section here is over the top of this arm. So I'm just going to bring the shadow all the way out from this bit. And then bring that shadow down, so there isn't actually much lighter area here. I'm not bringing the shadow up from the book here because it is tilted forwards and not lying on her. So then I'm coming in with the gold. Oh, that's all right, Rochelle. Thank you. The colour I've just used, Connie, was Sandbar Brown, and that is PC1094. It is a green, despite being called brown, but it is a green. It just has brown undertones in it, and it's really nice to go with your more darker greens. Like I'll be using moss green on top of this, and it goes really nice as an undertone for those. So the metallic gold, I'm not using very much. It is literally just to emphasize the shadows. So I'm just putting that in and bringing it down. Not everywhere, just on where the most prominent shadow would be. And again, that is mostly down the whole back end of her. And then it'll be in the crease of her sleeve here. So we're not after the metallic from the pencil on this occasion. We are just using it for its colour, because it is quite a good shadow colour for this colour combo. And speaking of metallic colours, has anybody bought the pack or any singles of the Derwent metallics lately? Because I got myself a few just to try them out in colours that I know I would use, and they are so nice. They're not like, for instance, this metallic pencil doesn't really show as metallic unless you press really hard on the page, but the Derwent metallics show up really well as metallic pencils. So this is moss green, and for the best part I am going over the whole of her jacket, especially over the shadowed areas that we have done. Oh, I've missed that bit out there. Welcome back, Steph. Hiya, Christina. Oh, thank you, Nick and Tina.
Excuse you. What a nice little boy you are. Is it because she's on your bed?
My nana used to be a dressmaker, Rochelle. And she made my mum's wedding dress. And when they were younger, my mum and my auntie were dancers, and she made all of their outfits for their dancing as well. And my mum knits now, and she made me a short-sleeved hooded jumper, and I wear that all the time because, in my opinion, she is a very good knitter. Oh, that's quite alright, spicy. Right, so I'm going over the shadows that I've put in with the moss green, and I'm just fading that right out to the edge because I'm going to come back in with the Artichoke and the Sandbar brown. Oh, thank you, Steph. Thank you, Vicky. Wow.
Well, you're going to need a little chop, aren't you?
103.
Is that our age?
Is that whose age?
Never talk.
No. Right. So I'm going to come back in now with the Sandbar brown. And I'm just going to use that to blend out the moss green. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I am on the mend. If you'd seen me even last week, I could barely move. Because it seems like I've had a bit of a virus myself. And I'm still having up and down days. I have some days where I'm really good and I'd wake up and you'd think that nothing had been wrong, and then the next day I'll get up and I'll feel as though I'm back to square one. I haven't done as much colouring in over the past few weeks as I'd have liked. And I've not even got around to starting the 5D painting for Victoria's Moon yet, which I'm hoping to make a start on tomorrow so that I can get another video of that put out for them. Because I'm actually really I've been looking forward to start that painting since I got it. Right, and then I'm just coming back in there now with the Artichoke. Oh, thank you, Connie. I've been doing a lot of resting. And I've made sure to keep my fluids up. I've been drinking plenty of fluids. So I'm now just using the Artichoke to go back in over everything. And I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but we have a very distinct, what I would call highlight for this colour combo down this side. But you can also see it amongst the other colours that I've used for the shadowing. I'm just going to keep taking things at a decent pace. I'm not going to push myself, and I'm not going to try and stress myself out whether or not something gets finished. And I know everybody is looking forward so much to my flip through of Magical Dawn. I am in the process of editing everybody's pictures to put into the flip through, and hopefully that'll be out next week. And as I said, I'm hoping to make a video tomorrow of starting my 5D painting for Victoria's Moon, and I still need to get out the video on finishing off the image from Sagarok Sagna as well, which with a bit of luck will also be through the week. But I'm not pushing myself to make sure all these things happen. They're just going to come out when I can get them out, I'm afraid. But you'll not be waiting too long, I promise you that. So that is the colour combo that I'm going for. And her skirt, if I zoom you out, and if we look at the reference picture, it's not exactly the same, because as I've said, the colours are very flat for the reference picture from the old movie. But from what I can see in my head, that is the sort of colour combo that I can imagine that actually being in. And as you can see, the skirt matches the jacket, so that'll be the same colours as the jacket that we've done. Oh, thank you. So I'll make a start on the skirt, because that only took 15 minutes to do, and I've got 15 minutes left. So we're starting with the base of the artichoke. So I'm just going to give that all over again. And I love how they both match. Oh, thank you everyone. But that's the good thing about doing this sort of thing, is that obviously, because the reference pictures we have from older Disney films, the colours are quite flat, so it's a bit of a challenge for us to give them some depth. Which is why I need to have a bit of a think on the blacks, because I'm not great with doing black anyways without it coming out a solid colour. Take care, May. Thank you very much for coming along. Oh, thank you, Sammy. Hiya, Carola. It's lovely of you to join us. I've nearly finished my stream, but Heather is streaming next. I'm coming in with the Sandbar brown next. And again, I'm just going to use this to map out the shadows. And they would definitely come from underneath her jacket. And from this section here, this will be quite dark. And then each pleat is going to be on top of the other, so these will all be in shadow. And then again, I'll make it come down the back end of her. Oh, that's all right, Carola. You can catch up later if you want to. And as usual, if everyone just gives me about an hour, and I'll have the description all written up with the colours I've used. Unfortunately this time I can't give you a link to the book, as I got it from my local pound shop, but I will put on the description that I got it from there, and if you have one near you, you can go and have a look and see if it's still available. I'm then going to come in with the gold. I'm just going over this bit again, just to darken that right up. And I'm going to go in where there will be the most shaded areas. So that is from the pleats. And it might look like it, but I'm not using a hard pressure at all. Is anybody else colouring along? Not specifically to this picture, but to any other picture. Because I know that when I watch people, I'm colouring in. Not that I usually get much done, because I'm too busy watching chat and the video. So then I'm just coming down the back to add in more shadow there. And then again, just underneath the jacket. Oh, I can't wait to see that, Jo Beth. I was just saying when I started my stream, Sammy, that these books are great, but the paper's very thin. So to use any other kind of mediums, you would definitely have to copy it onto some other form of paper. But I mean, you get fantastic results from using pencils in these. And then I'm just coming in with the moss green, and again I'm just going over the whole thing as close to the edge as possible. So I'm going to start off dark and fade that out. But again, I'm not really putting much pressure on. And I've also been getting some bits and pieces lately. I've gotten some gifts from people. Some get well gifts, which I can't thank people enough for. And I've gotten some gifts from people just because they're lovely, lovely, lovely people. And again, I'm so thankful. And I will do a separate video showing the bits and pieces I've received from people as gifts, and also the few bits and pieces that I have gotten myself lately. It's been a long time since I did a whole video, so I have managed to gather quite a bit since my last one, so I'll try and pick out as much as I can from the last few months that I can remember anyways. So I'm now going back in with Sandbar Brown, And again, I'm just blending that out. What kind of music festival is it? Is it something you're into, that you don't mind hearing, or is it not your kind of thing? So this section is quite a big section, so I'm just very gently trying to blend that out there without leaving big lines between colours. These parts aren't too bad. And then come in with the artichoke and then just fill in the rest. Oh, thank you, Steph. Christina, if that's what makes you happy, you go for it. Oh, definitely, Kenny. That's what I like to hear. If you like whatever colour combo I produce, you go ahead and use it. It's a great colour combo for leaves as well. For autumnal type leaves. So I'll finish up this skirt because Heather's going to be coming on in a couple of minutes. What I'll do tonight before tomorrow, because it's exactly the same, is I'll finish off her legs. And then I'll have a bit of a play around with my blacks and greys to come up with a decent black without it coming out looking as like a solid colour. Although that might not be too bad for her shoes because they are quite a small area. So I am on early tomorrow. It is 11 AM my time, so that is quite early for some people. Do not feel as though you have to get out of bed to watch my stream. You can always catch me back. It's a good thing with the streams is that they save just like a normal video would. And I'd rather that you all get your rest. Right, there we go. And I really like how that's come out. Oh dear me. I'm just going back over some of these areas with the gold, just to get that darker shadow in. Oh, bless me. Okay, Heather, thank you for coming along. I'll join yours as soon as I've wrapped this up. Right. There we go. Also, if you're trying to do greys, the silver grey is also a very good pencil to add into the mix. A bit like with this. I may very well even use silver with my black combo tomorrow. But as I said, I'll do a bit of a play around tonight and see what I can come up with. So I'm just going to zoom out. And that is what we've done today. And I'll continue doing this picture tomorrow and using the same pencils, my Prismas. But I really like how it's turned out so far. And like I said, if I get it up, this is my reference picture that I've been using. So you can see it's not the same, but it never would be. And I thank you all very much for joining me this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning. It all depends on where you're from.
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow. But thank you very much, and I'll see you all tomorrow at some point, no doubt, whether it be in my stream or somebody else's. Thanks for coming along, guys. It was great to talk to you all.